Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here today on ESGNet. We're back here for the newest episode of the Scotties Sports Talk here in NCAA Football 14, and it's the Highland Scotties Team Builder Dynasty. As we're back here in Scotties Sports Talk, and right now we're we just finished up that game there between Highland and Baylor, the first Big 12 game for Highland this season and for the school's history. And to take a look here at the schedule so far here, we play Iowa, which was a very tough game. Had a very excellent and nice game there for Reed there against Hawaii, and then Virginia Tech, and then a pretty tough game there against LSU, and then of course getting our first ever Big 12 victory over Baylor. Now in this episode here today, we are going to really kind of focus in on the recruiting aspects of this team, as we've been getting a few recruits here coming up. Some of them you guys have brought in over the course of over the off season last year, entering or exiting season 4, going to season 5 here, and of course some other players that I've been looking at on the board that are not creative wise. So I'll let you guys know which ones are created and which ones are not, if I can at least remember from my memory. Currently right now we're in the top 25 right now, and we are the number 2 team in the nation, as we're still playing very strong there. Florida State is your top team right now, as we're both 5-0, but in points wise, at least from the BCS perspective here, they have 1,500, we have 1,346, so we still got a ways to go there if we want to be the number 1 team in the nation. Of course, Florida State, losing a game would also help us out too. Notre Dame is there at number 3. They jumped up 2 spots from number 5. USC is number 4. Michigan State rounds off the top 5. Take a look at the rest of those other Big 12 schools, like Oklahoma at number 10. And then you got Alabama, who, of course, they're trying to get their way back up there. They have now lost 2 games this season so far. They got 3-2 in 5 games. LSU's the same way. Auburn 4-1, Michigan 4-1. And then you see other Texas or other Big 12 schools like Texas there at number 21, and then Cal rounding out the top 25. There you see the team that dropped out this week, and that is San Diego State, who are at number 22, but they did receive some first place votes. I believe 168 to be exact. Now Highland right now leads the Big 12 North with their first victory. West Virginia got their first win over the same in that same week. Kansas State has not yet played a Big 12 game. BYU has lost, and Iowa State has lost twice, and Kansas has not played a conference game. Kansas right now number 6 there. If we were to end the season today, they would be eliminated or be relegated out of the Big 12 and going to Conference USA. But there you see we're 5-0 overall, 1-0 in conference play. West Virginia 2-3. K-State they're at 500 with 2-2. As for the Big 12 South, Oklahoma 4-1. They are, of course, if we were playing the Big 12 game today, that would be the team we would be facing. Of course, TCU 1-0 in the conference. Texas also 1-0, and Texas Tech also 1-0. The only 2 teams that lost so far here in the Big 12 South in conference play is Oklahoma State and Baylor. Now you see the overall in the Big 12, as we're first there with a good record of 1-0, along with Oklahoma, TCU, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. Kansas has not yet played a game in Big 12 play. Neither has Kansas. So Kansas State and Kansas have not played yet. Oklahoma, Baylor, and BYU all have. And of course Iowa State, like I mentioned too, has already played 2 games already, and they're 0-2 in conference play. Now our big game coming up here, it will be against West Virginia. We'll talk a little bit about that here later on towards the end of the video. Take a look at our sister conference that we're working with is Conference USA, and there you see Southern Miss right now, the best team overall, and both in the East and West divisions right now. 4-1 overall record with a 1-0 conference record. Western Kentucky has actually played more games than anybody, at least in conference wise. They are 2-1 for the season. They're in conference play, but 4-1 overall. And then the Mid Tennessee State, they are 0-5, and they are playing. They've already played one game in conference, 0-1 there in the East. At Florida Atlantic right now leads the pack there in the Conference USA East. They would be, of course, be brought up to the Big 12. I believe the Big 12 South there, or no, maybe the North. So that's, yeah, I know it's weird geographically. That's weird when you look at it here. But yeah, that's how that would come out to be. Western Kentucky there at 4-1. Florida International 2-2. Marshall 1-3. University of Alabama at Birmingham 0-4, and Middle Tennessee State 0-5. Now, I know a lot of this does not make a lot of sense with the Conference USA. They got a lot of Florida teams and whatnot, but that's pretty much the conference that I kind of want to work with, because there's a lot of Southern teams, like other Texas teams like UTSA, UTEP, and the North Texas and Rice. So I was trying to think geographically with what schools would work with us in that sort of general area that we're in right now in the Midwest there. But Southern Miss there, you see they're 0-1 or 1-0 in conference play, along with UTSA, Louisiana, and UTEP. And like I said, doing this kind of really just does a good, kind of makes it a little fun here. And you kind of see teams that you normally wouldn't see representing, like in the Big 12. They probably get some little extra exposure and a little, some help, and just the different matchups, potential matchups we could have more in the within with the Big 12 and of course Conference USA. But right now, it looks like Southern Miss would be a team that would get called up. Now, let's look at our recruiting here today, and we're looking at Clay Warren. This is one of the players that you guys submitted, and unfortunately, well, he is not going to be with us this coming fall here, as he is now going to be a Arkansas Razorback. And actually, Arkansas is one of the schools we were actually thinking about taking out of. I was actually considering taking them out of the ACC or SEC and bringing them to the Big 12. We'll have them play the Big 12 South. That was actually a team I was really thinking about moving, but I think I'm going to keep him there. But there you see, we were fourth on this list there. We tried our best to, recruit him there. He was the 22nd QB. He's a pocket passer there, but unfortunately we just could not get him. So unfortunately, that was one of the players that you guys submitted that we just wasn't able to get and try to come to our school. In the halfback division, or halfback part of our game, at Brandon Ashley, there you see his lead right now with Minnesota. We're fourth on this list. He has Colorado and BYU in front of us, and Nebraska right behind us there in fifth place. So we've been putting some points on him lately this year. He's the fourth running back on the board in the running backs category there. And like I said, you look at his numbers here, pretty decent numbers there. He probably wouldn't be a starter right off the bat there for us next year, but really it'd be any kind of improvement now, really, with a lot of our guys are going to be leaving. Davison will be probably leaving to go pro, along with Alexander, not necessarily going pro, but he'll probably would be, we call like graduating and then moving on. Charlie Lewis there, you see, number 9 halfback there. He's a balanced halfback from Georgia, and he's on our list right now. He's really considering us there, and we're really trying to pull and try to do everything we can to get to him. Antonio Burks, another player that you guys submitted from California. He's a number 2 running back. He's a power back. He's a 5-star athlete, 5'11", 177 pounds, 90 speed there. Pretty much, rushing wise, he got some pretty good numbers there. Spin, looseness, trucking, but it's just tough because he really looks like he's going to possibly go to Texas. We're not really there at the cutoff point there, but if we can do well here in this next coming week here after this bye week, we got a good chance of getting hopefully in his ear, and we can kind of bring him to the fold. Darnell Kelly, halfback there, or excuse me, a fullback there. Well, unfortunately, we just won't make his list there. We're at 6th place right now with Anthony Williams. He's the number 4 fullback, blocking fullback, 6'2", 149 pounds. He's a young man that we're looking at too for fullback position here. But again, I think we're kind of good for right now. But I kind of want to bring in somebody that could get a fullback position. I'm something I can rotate pretty well. Have the fullbacks come in there and take turns, because it's not really a necessary a position like, oh, we need to have one. Fullback usually, he'll stay around for quite some time, but I don't think we even have a backup right now. I think we just have one guy right now playing a position, but we can easily put a fullback, we can put a tight end in that position if we need to. Gilbert Wallace, another player there, number 2. He's a receiving fullback. We're number 3 on his list there. Maryland looks like his top choice. And again, these are some of the these last 2 fullbacks here are kind of last minute add-ons that we added to the team. We did offer him a scholarship there, but we're just below his cutoff date. Hopefully we can hopefully we convince him with that scholarship there to kind of keep us on his list there still. Randy Burns, 37th ranked wide receiver. We're top of his list right now. He's a 77 overall, but he's also a gem, you guys. This was a nice find here. 93 speed, 94 jump. So I like those numbers. Acceleration could be a little bit better, but it's at 90. But he has a week 9 visit coming up here, and he could be a guy that we can really can use. Because I want to add some more depth to our wide receiver core, as we got some good wide receivers right now, but we'll need somebody here in the next 2 years here. At some point here, I can see Godfrey going early into the NFL. Mike Clayton's another player there, 74 overall. There you see he not great speed there, but a decent player there in the wide receiver position. As for tight ends, Steve Allen, another player there. We're 3rd on his list there. Like at the Lobos, there looking at him, and he looks like he could possibly go there. And there you see some of his numbers. Not crazy numbers. I do like his blocking, his run blocking, pass blocking, his impact blocking, but nothing too crazy there. But just somebody we don't want to put on the list there, just see what we can do. Then of course, our main concern going into this season recruiting wise is offensive line. We need a healthy offensive line. We need a offensive line that we can rotate, because right now we're just on pins and needles. But Glenn Grant there, he looked like he's going to sign with us. He's the number 1 tackle right now in the nation, and that would be grateful. We'd be so grateful to have him on our squad. And unfortunately, the number 4 tackle there from Des Moines, Washington there, Adam Smith. He looks like he is going to be a Razorback also. Wow, that's now two people now. The Arkansas Razorbacks now took him from us here, but he has not yet signed yet. But but if we can again try to convince him here and try to put some more points on him. If I'm not mistaken, I think we can break that lock there on him and get another crack at him. Kevin Callahan, 6'5", 290 pounds. Number 3 tackle, blocking tackle. Looks like that race might be out, because it looks like he might be going to Michigan State there next fall. And just looking at his numbers there, I was really hoping that I thought for a while there we were on top of his list. But there you see Wisconsin, of course, throwing stuff at him, and we're just outside of his cutoff point there. He could be telling us no thank you, but I might be taking my talents to Michigan State. Then you see Brian Weldon. There you see he's number 2 on our list there, 6'4", 290 pounds. He's number 13th ranked tackle in the nation. He's a balanced tackler and balanced tackle player. And then there you see his numbers there. Pretty decent numbers there for blocking, run blocking, pass blocking, and impact blocking. But like I said, we're just at some point, these guys out here, we're trying to add some depth. We'll add a little depth to our. The main concern for me is it's going to be really, our guards, because we need some guard help if anything, and then maybe even some help in the center. We don't have our best center right now. He's the only one on the team right now, so we really need to not just get a decent center to help us out, but we also need some depth in that position there. So, but Scott Matthews there, 72 overall for the tackle position. Like I said, a lot of these guys will, if they sign with us, we can swap them around and move around to other areas on that offensive line, especially if they really want playing time. That's something we can do because, like I said, our offensive line, if you can tell, we've been winning games, but they've been really tough. There you see Larry Jefferson. It looked like he could sign with us at any time there. 6'2", 278 pounds, 81 overall. He's a gem. He's a player that we're so happy that I think next week, this could be the week that he can finally sign, and we can finally get a true, genuine, top tier center to help us out. Like Tom McCoy, he's another one there. We're fighting with him, and we're fighting with Notre Dame with him. We're just 538 points behind, so if we can throw some more at him, I think we recently offered him a scholarship. That should be helpful, but we'll see if that'll be enough there for next week. And so right now we're in that battle there. He had a week 6 showing there. He liked what he's seen there. He was pretty impressed with us, but just has not made that commitment just yet because he still has to look at Notre Dame coming up. Larry Moore, number 2 center in the nation. He is 7th on our list. We recently add him, and he's here. There is a battle for him. Stanford, BYU, Iowa State, all looking at him along with us. And he is a pretty good guy there, and he could really be a really good asset for this team offensively for the next couple of years. So we're trying to go after him. Like I said, we got Larry Jefferson, but Larry Moore will also be another good player there. And there you see, we're just right above his. Look at it. Utah, the Aggies there of New Mexico State, and UTEP. They're all wanting him to play for them. And like I said, it's gonna be a battle. Joey Nobles, there you see, number 3 center in the nation, 4-star athlete, Middle Tennessee State, Clemson, South Carolina, and Georgia. Georgia's the leading pack right now. There's another young man that everybody's really going for here. It just seems, I don't know, here this season it just seems like everybody needs help with the offensive line. I was thinking, why is everybody needing offensive linemen this year? I thought I was the only one that needed it, but apparently there's a lot of other schools that really need that help with the offensive line and want to maybe not necessarily needing help, but they're trying to get some more depth because they got a lot of young men possibly leaving, going pro earlier. So, but that's what his top schools look like there. Like I said, we just outside there of the potential lockout there. And like I said, we just added, put a scholarship, giving him a scholarship, so we have another shot. Hopefully, have another shot here at signing him to a contract. Defensive tackle, there you see, we don't have too much to worry about the defensive side of the ball. I do like our linebacking core. Not to mention, we got plenty of corners and safeties to help us out. But we do want to look. You always want to look for some depth to kind of help you out next year, kind of fill up some areas there. You don't want the CPU to have walk-ons there for you. So we're going to try to get some guys here, especially our defensive line. And Nick is one of those players that we're trying to put on there. He had a week 6 showing. He enjoyed it. He liked our team, he liked what he see, but still hasn't made that decision as he still has another visit with another school. Billy Alexander, 4-star athlete, 6'2", 207 pounds, number 6 in the outside linebacking position in the nation. There you see 74 overall. Speed, decent speed for a linebacker, especially his acceleration is just top notch. But we're in the battle with him between us and USC. So, yeah, that is definitely going to be a fight that we're going to try to stay in to the very end. Roderick Johnson, number 3 middle linebacker. Like I said, we're just at this point here, especially the middle linebacker position, we're trying to go for some depth. And Roderick's one of those guys we want to kind of bring in. But you got Oklahoma, who's the top guy. He can pretty much sign with them at any time here. But there you see his speed, acceleration, his jump, and of course his tackling there. Great tackling, great pursuit, and even better play recognition. I just need some help in the areas of his zone and man coverage there as a coverage type of linebacker. So a lot of work with him there on that side. And like I said, he'd be a project player that we could work with over the first year or two there being on campus. But there you see he's been offered several scholarships here, but it looks like he might have his choice narrowed down to Oklahoma. The other player, as you see there, Martin Yates, he's a 76 overall player, and he's a player that we're just more depth here as we continue looking at Johnson's numbers here. And like I said, just both these guys here pretty similar in their play style, and just want to try to add some depth as we're trying to add more, have players more acumen to the our schemes defensively and what we can do, because I want to add more, changing up some players, and when it comes to with the schemes that we're running right now, try to give those guys more playing time. So just changing out the schemes and changing out players, and just doing some moving players around and making sure get some of those younger inexperienced players some time to do something there on the field. As for free safeties there, Bryce Wild, he's a player that you guys actually created, and he's number 5 free safety in the nation. Kansas is looking at him, and this has been a pretty interesting battle. We were in the lead there for the first couple of weeks now, but he's been, for whatever reason, interested in Kansas. He's a gym player, and again, he's a player that I've been trying to recruit here, but for whatever reason, he just seems like he wants to stay there close to home. He lives in Lansing. And he would only be not a good hour. He'd be a good half hour, 45 minutes from his home between Lawrence, Kansas and Lansing, Kansas. So not a very far drive for him. The other young man here, Maddox Bratchard from Marshall, Missouri. We look like we could sign him at any time. 75 overall, again, there for depth, and could easily get some playing time next season. But there you see we have a good lead for him over USC, Stanford, Florida State, and Clemson. So we can he can practically literally sign at any time. He does have a scholarship offer there. He had a nice week 6 visit with us. We were successful with him, but he still has a week 12 visit with USC. Then you take a look at some of our some of our athletes here. Pete Martin here, for one. Looks like he has pretty good speed there. I think if anything, I think he was more like a defensive type of player. Ryan Maddox from Berkeley, California, number 10 athlete there, 5-star athlete. Oklahoma was second on his list, but we're first on his list there, and we just have barely a thin lead there over him. And just kind of looking at his numbers here, looks like he's going to be more of an offensive presence here. So I'm thinking maybe wide receiver, maybe a halfback of some sort. They're helping us out. But yeah, take a look there. Nice. He has a week 9 visit with us. Dallas Matthews, I believe, is another player that you guys created, that you guys submitted there. And we look like we can have him signed too. He's 77 overall. And like I said, we just offered him a scholarship not too long ago here, and he could be signing with us at any point here, at any time. So we're looking forward to those signings here, because we should be getting close to, season's starting to kind of wrap up, and a lot of we're getting to, of course, conference play right now, and that beating some we've already had a pretty successful, I would say, non-conference schedule. Now we're getting to the Big 12 schedule, and a lot of kids are going to start making those big decisions of where they're going to want to play at for next season. Hopefully, we can convince them with some good wins over some of these Big 12 opponents here, especially teams like Texas. Jason Wood, a 5-star athlete, 15th athlete out there in the nation, 6'2", 192 pounds. Look at his numbers there. Good speed, agility, acceleration. Let's see, can he throw? Doesn't look like he can throw either, but it looks like he can be another wide receiver there that can help us out. And I mean, if that's the case, then we have a lot of wide receivers there on our squad there. Tommy Gibson, 60 overall there, athlete there again, another player for depth. Added him in there, and it looks like he could be a defensive type of player here. As I'm kind of looking at his numbers here for the first time, yeah, he looks like he could be a defensive guy, so maybe a linebacker of sorts. But we did sign Gabe Sands from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 4-star athlete, 31 ranked athlete out there, and look at his numbers. He's a gem. There you see there. So we're looking at possibly an offensive player, but at the same time, I think he might be a really good linebacker, because look at the coverage and his zone and all that type of stuff. He looks like he is going to put some hurting on a lot of people there. So that's going to be really nice there. You see a 78 overall. So that's going to be really cool to see, and hopefully that'll be something for us coming up in the fall. So as we wrap up here today's episode, we'll take a look here. Number 2 in the nation, 5-0, as we take on West Virginia coming up here. They're 2-3, but 1-1 in this, and this will be our first time in Morgantown here in this series. We've never played against them before. There you see they lost their first game there against Eastern Carolina, 38-31, a close game. Then they won against Miami, Ohio, 41-20. They lost to the Terps and Texas back-to-back weeks in some pretty tough games. And then they just won a game against Oklahoma State. So there you see their players. The top player there is a left guard, Myers. And then you got Turner, their best kicker. Best defensive player looks like Maxey. And then Smith is our halfback there. He got some pretty good power as a runner. But the quarterback here, we got to look at his numbers here. And it looks like he could be a guy that we could probably have some fun with here defensively. I'm thinking maybe we'll probably blitz a lot more in this upcoming game here in Morgantown. Like I said, this is our first time ever being there. They're the furthest team in the Big 12 that's on the far east. So, it's going to be, a bit of a, time change. They're about, an hour ahead of us. So the game will probably be a little more earlier than normal. Christian Smith, there you see his numbers there. 2 rushing touchdowns. He has total 9 so far for his career. So not a big runner. Right now he only has 210 yards this season. But look at his, great, decent speed, but great acceleration. He exploded right out of the backfield if we do not keep up with him. He can break some tackles, and he's very elusive. So, and great ball carry vision there. So, yeah, he is definitely a guy that we're going to have to wrap up pretty good and hit him pretty hard to slow him down. So, really got to take those legs out from him and really just put some work into it. But, yeah, we'll take a look here. Jose Maxey, their junior redshirt defensive tackle. There you see his numbers, power moves, his finesse, blocking, and tackle and strength. So he is going to be a guy that we're going to have to really avoid getting the especially running the ball there. We got to really try to really keep Davison and Alexander there away from him. And then Kenny Robinson there, their strong safety there. I don't like throwing too deep, this because, this game is, cheesy. So throwing deep there, I don't really too much concerned about the safeties. But, from time to time, you have some safeties that can do some damage to you. And he looked like he could do some damage because he has great play recognition there. So we'll try to avoid throwing his direction as much as we possibly can. But can't promise anything. Larson, the middle linebacker, starting middle linebacker, he's out. He has an MCL sprain, and he is questionable. So we may not see him on the field there. So I guess that's a good thing from the middle linebacker's perspective. And then we take a look here, going into the next week here. Pete Martin, he has signed with us. So we got a wide receiver now. So we've really did a great job there of deepening our linebacker, our wide receiver core. Roderick Johnson, he went to Oklahoma, so he did sign with them. So we're going to be taking on the 2-3 West Virginia Mountaineers in Morgantown. Like I said, this will be the first time we played against them, and the first time we play again. First time we've been to Morgantown, the first in this series, and of course the first time we played them as a Big 12 opponent. So this should be a good one here. I'm hoping we'll have fun. Hopefully we can get a victory here and continue this run that we're on right now. Because right now we have dropped because of not because we haven't lost anything, but we've lost because apparently USC jumped ahead of us. We are now number 3 in the nation here, so we're outside looking in, trying to get to that national championship once again here, and we'll see if we can try to change that around here coming up in the next episode. But that is it for this one, as we, like I said, get ready for taking on West Virginia, and we'll see if Reed can step up here this week and play a good game here. If not, we might have to have him bench him there for a while and then have him kind of hold on to a clipboard and watch the backups come in. His backup, second string quarterback come in and do some damage, hopefully. But we'll see how things go coming up as we head on to Morgantown. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Hit that bell notification if you happen to be new. Hit that subscribe button if you also are new. And like I said, hit that bell notification so you guys can get the latest on this series or any other series here on the channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. The links are down below in the description. Check us out there for the latest news and events here on the channel. Follow us on Patreon if you'd like to be a Patreon member, especially if you want to be on the team. If you want to be on this team exclusively, that's the best way to do it. There are 3 different tiers to explain what you get in each tier, and that's the best way for you guys to be on this team and legitimately be on the team, and maybe even have some say-so of how we certain plays and formation, all that kind of stuff. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here of the Highland Scotties Team Builder Dynasty here on ESGNet. As always, stay safe, wear a mask, keep yourselves and each other healthy, and I will see you guys next time.